Hello, welcome to Cinema Enigma. In today's video, we are going to talk about Rings of Power. Two years ago, the first season of the Rings of Power came out, and I heard everyone talking about how shitty it was. And seriously, I would have fight people to prove them wrong. I sounded like a whiny, desperate, bankrupted salesman being like, please trust the process, please don't give up on it, it is going to get good. Well, they took their time, 2 whole years, to eventually deliver a far worse show with even worse criticism. To be honest, it just looks like the writers aren't even familiar with Tolkien's work. Although it's hard for me to admit, but it was an absurd, ridiculous show and it remained so. Which is very disappointing. They had 2 years. How did they manage to just worsen everything? From season 1, we just have all of those questionable showrunners and awful actors with their chaotic acting. But you know what? It was supposed to be the project of Amazon Prime. So I was like, they would save the show, especially with this 2-year gap, right? But they did not learn anything from season 1, except for getting rid of all male directors, which is kind of funny. But that was pretty much it. No change whatsoever. I mean, is that really a good decision to presume the exact thing they did at season 1 after losing 37% of the audience by the end of the season? Did that result satisfy you that much to repeat it again? Let's just talk about Galadriel. What can I say? In The Lord of the Rings, she was one of the most powerful, most badass characters. How could they manage to ruin her character entirely? Let me put it this way. Tolkien published this book in 1954. Well, for a book written then, you don't expect the strongest female characters ever. The main characters are men, and it doesn't matter how important a woman is in the story, at the end, the book is waiting for her to get married. But this is another topic, I'm not going to talk about it now. But what I'm going to talk about is that in a book like this, Galadriel was one of the strongest characters that didn't have to lose her whole femininity to be a strong person. She was one of my personal favorite characters ever. She was feminine and powerful. She had a strong voice when there weren't a lot of female characters like that. And as a little girl, that was so precious to me. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter how this show ruins her, the original Galadriel will always have a place in my heart. And now the writers of the show took this woman and ripped the femininity of Galadriel out of her to picture her strength, and now they expect me to be grateful? No, you. They really thought they were doing something here. Because of course, if a woman is going to be strong, smart, and an able warrior, you should take away her femininity first. And don't you dare make a fool out of her. Everything that happens is basically her fault for not telling people Halbrand was actually Sauron.
Yes, Sauron.
And they had to do it because they messed up the timeline of the story, and now they have to blame someone for everything so they can go on with the story. Also, I should say this too, Clarke's bad performance plays a significant role in this too. I mean, I see all of those arguments that are suggesting that she is not a bad actress, it's the script that is shitty. I hear you, but I'm going to go with a combination of both. In all the episodes, she doesn't move her face, and when she does, you just wish to go back to when she didn't.
It is only natural to feel conflicted.
Conflicted?
Another thing that pisses me off about this show is that it's not accurate. I mean, I get it. There isn't a written script of the story, but it doesn't mean you can shit all over the timelines. Among all of the messes they left behind, I'm going to point out one of them that was making me so confused. The timeline of creation of the rings. Well, we know that in the actual storyline, the 3 elven rings were among the last rings that got forged, after Celebrimbor got suspicious of Sauron and decided to work alone. But we see a whole another story in this show. Also, I'm sure I'm not the only one finding the meet cute of Sauron and Galadriel so ugly and ridiculous. I mean, what was that? They just met each other in the middle of the ocean? That's it? And I love the fact that they thought the flashback story at the beginning of season 2 was going to fix it. I mean, it wasn't even a new story, it just told the story that happened before that. That's it. It wasn't even necessary. And what's with the whole trying to make something out of Galadriel and Sauron thing? Why are we shipping this to? Where did that come from? I see a lot of people calling the show a $465 million fanfic for this golden couple, and seriously, I can see it too. I hate the story of how they met. Really, why didn't they go with the story of Anatar from the beginning? Isn't it better than what they originally did? That would have made more sense, and now, not only the beginning is bad, but the whole Anatar thing looks so ridiculous too, because it's too late. And the pace is crazy slow. The first episode is an hour and 16 minutes, and what for? You could wrap it up in 30 minutes. And we have all of these storylines where nothing really happens. Take not Gandalf and not Frodo and Sam in all 3 episodes of season 2. We see them all along when nothing really happens to them. Of course, we can see that this dude is following them, and we have the moment of him finding the branch and using it to get rid of his enemy alongside the not Frodo and Sam. Or Isildur. Although I know what he eventually is going to do and how important he is going to be, yet I still want to rip my eyes out with a fork whenever he pops up on the screen. But at least Slim Shady's back. And of course, the thing that seems to make a lot of people angry is the orcs. We just know that orcs are creatures created for war. You would put a leash in their eye and chop off their hand to put the blade instead. Yet the first thing they ask is, who should they kill? Well, this was the version it was shown to us. But in this show, we see they have recreated these creatures for a modern audience. Orcs are more humanized. You see them having emotions for the first time. They go from warmoth to a concerned husband and a protective dad who doesn't want to go to war and wants to stay safe with their Papa Idar. Do I think it looks absurd and ridiculous after seeing the original orcs for all these years? Absolutely yes. But am I going to criticize them for that? No, I can see they didn't do an amazing job in executing the whole sensitive orc thing, but I would say let them do their job and see what they have in their mind. I've been a Lord of the Rings fan since I was a kid, and although as a content creator I felt the responsibility to say all of these criticisms to you, yet as a fan, except for the ruining Galadriel's character, I wasn't mad about the rest. I watched the whole thing with joy, and I'm going to watch the rest too. And you can't deny the greatness of the visuals. Although I was really disappointed that it was an Amazon production, I'm going to say, as the most expensive TV show ever made, I love the visual representation. The creatures and orcs are great and are more impressive than the sloppy CGI they've always used for them in the past. And of course, the setup of Khazad-dûm is dreamy. The cinematography in this film is truly impressive, with stunning visual representation throughout. If you're a fan, watching the show could be nostalgic and fun. You just have to try and enjoy the ride. I do understand the negative comments that people make for this show, but personally, I like it. If you don't think about the inaccurate storyline compared to the Tolkien's book, it does look like a Lord of the Rings prequel, and I'm all for it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Although it doesn't look like it, I did enjoy talking about this show. And if you are a fan of the book and the movies, I would tell you to stop listening to all of the criticism and go watch it for yourself. Because when it comes to Rings of Power, I would say it's about personal preferences. You might enjoy it as I did. And if you did watch the show, please tell if you liked it or not in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to hit the like button and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos.